Hello students, welcome to the new lecture, and in the last lecture we have discussed some topics, but in this lecture we are going to discuss about the arteries and veins, okay, and also blood capillaries. So here there are three types of blood vessels. What are the three types of blood vessels? They are arteries, okay, next one is the veins and also blood capillaries, okay. These are the three types of the blood vessels. These three types of the blood vessels that are helpful in the transportation of the blood. So here first see the arteries. These arteries are the blood vessels that carry blood from the heart to body parts. So these blood vessels, out of these three blood vessels, arteries are going to carry the blood vessels from the heart to body. So let us consider this is the heart, these are the body parts. So these are the body parts. From the heart to body parts is known as artery, okay. Again from the body parts to heart, okay, from the body parts to heart they are known as veins, okay. So arteries are going to help in the transportation of blood from the heart to body parts, and in the other direction the blood from the body parts to heart the blood is carried from the veins, okay. So arteries means supply of blood, veins means collection of the blood, okay. So next, what is the importance of the blood capillaries? In the last classes, in the previous classes, we have discussed that the blood capillaries are thin. Okay, let us know this is the artery. Okay, the arteries will divide into tiny hair-like structure, and again it forms into a blood vessel. Okay, so this is the artery, this is the blood capillaries, and these are the veins. Okay, arteries, blood capillaries, and veins. These are the three types of the blood vessels. So these three types, out of these three types of blood vessels, the vein BCP means blood capillaries are involved in the exchanging of the gases. Okay, involved in the exchanging of gases, nutrients, etc. Okay, from the body parts, from the tissue to the blood vessel, and again from blood vessel to the tissues. Okay. So here the walls of the artery are thick, and they are thick. Why they are thick? These walls of the arteries are thick to withstand the pressure. Okay, to withstand the pressure, they are thick. So here from the heart, a huge amount of heart is going to apply huge amount of blood pressure on the blood vessels, especially arteries. So to withstand such kind of a blood pressure exerted by the heart, their walls must be thicker. Their walls must be thicker. So if the walls of the arteries are not thick, what happens? They will burst. Okay, the arteries will burst if their walls are not thick. So to withstand the pressure, the walls of the arteries are thick. Okay. Next, the veins. The walls of the veins are not thin. Why? Because the veins do not have much pressure. Okay. So the blood will be supplied to the body parts from the arteries, and from the body parts to the veins and to the heart. So during this process, the veins do not experience much pressure. So the walls of the veins are not much thick when compared to the walls of the arteries. Okay. So these veins, these blood vessels are going to carry blood from the body parts to the heart. From the body parts to heart, the blood will be carried. Okay. So next part is the blood capillaries. These blood capillaries are the microscopic. They are microscopic blood vessels. They are made up of single layer of cells. Okay. They are microscopic. What is meant by microscopic? Microscopic means very thin. Let us consider this is the artery. So this will be the blood vessels, blood capillaries. Okay, blood capillaries. So if you compare the thickness, just for your understanding purpose I am drawing this. So compare the size of this blood vessel and size of this blood vessel. Okay, much thicker. Okay, the artery is much thicker than the blood capillary. The blood capillary is very thin. Okay, so this is only the reason, due to the size, due to the microscopic size, we are calling the blood capillaries as microscopic blood vessels. They are made up of single layer of cells. Let us consider this wall of the artery. Wall of the artery made up of many cells. Okay, they are made up of number of layers of cells. Okay, so this is one layer. Okay, so this is another layer. So this is a lumen. Okay, lumen. What is meant by lumen? Lumen means the way the blood flow. Okay, this is the outer layer, this is the inner layer, and so on. So this is the thickness of the walls of the artery. Or for understanding purpose, you can draw this is the thickness. This is the thickness of the artery, wall of the artery. Okay, so this is the thickness of the artery. So see how much thickness it is. This much thickness. Okay, but the thickness of the blood capillary is not that much. Okay, single layer of cells. Okay, single layer. Only single layer of the blood cells are present in the blood capillaries. Okay, so blood flows in these blood vessels. Here the blood flows in this way or in that way. So by this way we can understand that due to the presence of a single layer of cells, the nutrients can flow easily from the cells. Okay, from the cell spaces the oxygen can move out. Okay, carbon dioxide may enter in. Okay, and so on. So exchanging of the gases can take place through the blood capillaries due to the presence of thickness of one layer, and also due to the presence of a small microscopic holes between the cells. Okay, so this is the importance of the blood capillary. Okay, and also remember they are involved in the exchanging of the gases, and also involved in the exchanging of the nutrients, nutrients like glucose, okay, vitamins, okay, amino acids, and so on. They are involved in the exchanging of the nutrients, exchanging of the gases, and they are involved in the exchanging of the waste materials. Okay, waste materials also they are going to carry. So it means they are going to involved in the exchanging. So these blood vessels allow the diffusion of various substances. Diffusion means what? From the body into the blood capillaries. Again, from the blood capillaries into the body, the materials are being exchanged. Okay. So with the help of these exchanging, so these biological process like exchanging of the nutrients, gases, WBC, leukocytes, etc. is possible. Why the leukocytes has to diffuse from the blood capillaries to outside? For example, let us consider there is an injury. So towards the injury, what should be done? Here the microorganisms are there, no? So these leukocytes will go over there and they have to fight with microorganisms. In that case, these leukocytes, they will come out of the blood capillary and move towards the injured area and they will fight over there. So this is about the importance of the blood capillary. Okay. Now here is a small table. We are going to discuss about the functions of the arteries and veins. Okay. So structure and function of blood vessel. Okay. First aspect is thickness. So what is the thickness? Thickness of the artery is very thick. Okay, and veins has the thin. It means the arteries have the thick thick walls, and veins has the thin walls. Next is valve. What is meant by valve? Valve is nothing but a regulatory organ. Okay, let us consider. So this is a vein. Okay, in the vein there are some kind of walls are there. So what is walls will do? They will prevent backflow of the blood. Okay, they prevent backflow of the blood. So here what it is doing, it is going to prevent the backflow of blood in the veins. In case of artery, in case of heart, what will happen? Let us consider this is a heart, 4 chambers. Here will be the one valve, here will be the one valve. Okay, so tricuspid and bicuspid valves are there. So these are the importance of the valves. Now come back to the arteries and veins only. So do you find such kind of valves in the arteries? No, no valves in the arteries, but in the veins the valves are present. Why the valves are present in the veins? Why? Because to prevent backflow. Okay, to prevent the backflow of blood in the veins, the valves are present. Okay, so next, the capacity to retain shape when the blood is absent. Yes, arteries can retain their shape. Okay, arteries can retain their shape. Why they can retain their shape? Why? Because here you can see. Okay, example, how much thick it is. So compare the size of the artery, walls of the artery, and wall of the vein. Let us consider this is the wall of the vein. So how much thickness? Okay, the thickness of the wall of the vein is small, so it will collapse. Okay, it means it cannot retain their shape. Okay, so all the time the arteries are going to retain round shape all the time. Why? But here the veins cannot retain. Why? Because their wall is not thick. Okay, next, the direction of flow of blood. Here the arteries are going to carry blood from the heart to organs. Okay, why heart to organs? Why? Because they have to supply nutrient blood, they have to supply oxygenated blood and also with other nutrients. So from the heart to the body parts, the arteries are going to transfer the blood, or they will transport, they involved in the transportation of blood from the heart to organs. But here the veins, what they do, they are going to carry deoxygenated blood from the body organs to the heart. Okay, from the body organs to the heart. Okay, it means arteries are the suppliers. Okay, arteries are the suppliers, veins are the collectors. Okay, what they collect? They will collect deoxygenated blood like carbon dioxide presented blood, and support either suppliers means they will supply oxygenated blood. Okay, so this is the importance of the arteries and veins. So the blood pressure is high in arteries. Why the blood pressure is high in arteries? Why? Because directly heart is going to pump blood to the arteries, as a result what will happen? Huge blood pressure, like more blood pressure. Okay, here you can see blood pressure is more in the arteries, and here from the arteries so to the body parts. Okay, from the body parts, again from the body parts to the heart is carried by the veins. Okay, so here almost all the blood pressure is completed in the blood in the body parts, so there is not much blood pressure present in the veins, so the blood pressure is low. The blood pressure is low in the veins. Okay, so next, the type of blood transported. As we know that arteries are going to carry the oxygenated blood, while the veins are going to carry deoxygenated blood. Okay, what is deoxygenated? Presence of carbon dioxide in the blood is known as deoxygenated. Oxygen means presence of oxygen in the blood. That is also in the RBC. Okay, in the RBC, the oxygen is present. If the oxygen is present, that is known as oxygenated. If the carbon dioxide is present, that is deoxygenated. Blood. Okay, so this is about table, and there are some questions for us in the textbook. Discuss the difference between pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein. Pulmonary artery means they are going to carry oxygenated blood from the right ventricle to the both lungs. So here you can see, let us consider rough diagram of the heart. Okay, rough diagram of the heart. Okay, this is right atrium, this is left atrium, this is right ventricle, left ventricle. Okay, so here you can see the pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery is going to carry deoxygenated blood from to here, from the body parts. So from the body parts, so blood is collected to the right atrium. Right atrium supplies blood to right ventricle. So right ventricle is going to supply blood to the from here to both lungs. Okay, this is left lung, this is right lung. So why it will supply blood, deoxygenated blood to the right and left lung? For the conversion of deoxygenated blood to the oxygenated blood. So again, right lung and also left lung, they will supply blood to the left atrium. Okay, so by this way they are going to supply. So here you have to remember only the artery that pump deoxygenated blood in the entire system is pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery is the artery. It is going to supply deoxygenated blood. Okay, only the ventricle that supply oxygenated blood is pulmonary vein. Even though it is a vein, it is going to carry oxygenated blood from lungs to heart. Okay, from here the pulmonary artery, it is going to supply blood from the heart to lungs. Okay, here is deoxygenated. Okay, deoxygenated, here is oxygenated. Why? Because it is coming from the lungs to the heart. Okay, so remember this is important. And next one will be the next topic, observation of arteries and veins, activity 4. Okay, in this activity, there is simple activity. It is to show how the flow of blood will be there in the veins to the in the blood vessels to the organs. Okay, so first sit on the table with one leg dangling. Dangling means freely moving. Okay, it means the table should be a little bit more height. Okay, sit on the table and your legs should be freely dangling, and take another leg and keep it on the first leg. Okay, let us consider your left leg is dangling freely, and you have to keep the right leg on the left leg. Okay, so after some time what will happen is a small movement of the legs with each heartbeat will be seen. Okay, you can see that some kind of movement will be seen in the leg. Okay, which is on the top. So after some time what will happen? The blood will be restricted to the leg. As a result, due to stopping of the blood vessel to the due to the stopping of blood flow to that leg, you can see pins and needles sensation. Okay, you can see pins and needles sensation in the leg. It means you can feel some little bit amount of pain it is looking like a sensation like someone is poking you with needles and pins on the leg. Okay, so such kind of sensation will be seen in this activity. And next is another activity. So in the same activity, another small kind of activity. So the swing your arm around several times. You have to swing the arm several times so that the blood will come and fill in the veins which is present in the hand. Okay, so veins are completely filled with blood. So now hold arm vertically downwards, means towards the ground, and gently press one finger and with prominent vein stroking. In the reverse direction, you will see the blood flow. In the reverse direction, the blood flow will be seen, that is moving towards the hand. Okay, so these are small activities just to understand about the blood vessels only. That now it is not much important, just a small activity. Okay. So the question is, can you see the swelling where you have pushed the blood against, okay, against the walls? Yes, you can see the pushing of the blood against walls. So the artery walls are very strong and elastic. Why? So artery walls are very strong and elastic. So to withstand the pressure of the blood vessels, okay, pressure of the blood. Okay, the heart is going to apply more amount of the blood pressure, on which, on the arteries. So to withstand the pressure which is exerted by the heart, the artery should be more stronger. Okay, the walls of the artery should be more stronger. If it is not stronger, the arteries are going to burst away. Okay, so to prevent such kind of damage, the nature has designed in such a way that the arteries walls are much thicker, so than the veins. Okay, the veins walls must be like this. Okay, so the walls thickness is much stronger in the arteries. Okay, so in this way you can see. Okay, so why we compare arteries like tree, which divides into smaller and smaller branches. Okay, here the answer is artery is the largest blood vessel, aorta. Okay, aorta is the largest blood vessel. What is meant by aorta? Let us consider this is a rough diagram of the heart. Okay, rough diagram of the heart. So here from the left ventricle, the major blood vessel is going to come out. Okay, the major blood vessel is going to come out, and it is going to divide. Okay, it is a major blood vessel. It divides into many branches. Okay, again this many branches and so on. Can you see? It is looking like a tree. Okay, it is looking like a tree, and these all branches are whatever is there, they are going to supply blood to the all different body parts. Here you can see each and every blood vessel coming from the aorta is arteries. All blood vessels which is coming from the aorta is known as arteries. So the major blood vessel is the aorta. You can call it as a systemic aorta. Okay, so it looking like a tree. If you see, if it is looking like a tree, these branches are dividing and entering into the different systems of the body, or you can call it as the different parts of the body. Okay, so they are divided even into smaller branches known as arterioles. Arteries are going to divide into arterioles. They are fine branch like structure again into blood capillaries, and these blood capillaries again enters into the body. Such kind of structure is going to look like a tree. Okay, so the lumen size is bigger in veins and when compared to the arteries. Why? Lumen means what? First of all, okay, so lumen means this one. Let us consider this is the veins. Okay, so what they are saying, the lumen size is bigger in veins when compared to the artery. So here you can see this is the artery. Okay, so compare the both. Why? Here the wall thickness is more. Okay, here the wall thickness is less. Okay, wall thickness is more here, wall thickness is less here. Here the lumen. Okay, lumen means the space inside the blood vessel. The space inside the blood vessel is known as lumen. In this, the blood flow will be seen. The blood will flow here. Okay, so here the lumen will be less. Lumen will be more in the veins. Okay, the lumen in the arteries is less, and lumen in the veins is more. Why? Because these veins has to transport more amount of the blood vessel, and there is a blood pressure. Okay, the blood pressure is also less. Here the blood pressure is more. Okay, so these are the difference between the arteries and veins. Okay, so you can note down, if you can note down these differences so that it will be useful in your exams. Okay, next one will be the cardiac cycle. So what is meant by cardiac cycle? Cardiac cycle means the sequential events of contraction, relaxation of the atria. Okay, so this will be the atria in the heart. This will be the both of them are atria, both of them are ventricles. Okay, so atria and also ventricles. So what they are saying, the sequential events of contraction, relaxation of atria and ventricles is known as cardiac cycle. So first, both atria will contract. Okay, when they are in contracting condition, these ventricles are in relaxed condition. Okay, when the ventricles are in contracted condition, the arteries are in relaxed condition. Okay, it means opposite. Okay, when they are contracted, they will be relaxed. When these are contracted, they will be contracted. Okay, so it means opposite. Okay, so these ventricles, these events are cyclically repeated. Okay, one after the other, one after the other, it repeats so on, never stops. When they will stop, when the person dies, they will stop. Okay, so human beings starts the heartbeat in the young babies. It means embryo. In the embryo starts around 21st. Okay, 21st. You should not call it as the embryo. It is the fetus. Okay, so when the fetus is about 21st day, it is going to start. It is going to start the heartbeat. For example, at the 21st day, if the heart in the fetus doesn't start beating, the fetus is going to die. Or after starting, or due to some reasons, if the heart stops, then also the fetus is going to die. Okay, so this, it means the death of the baby inside the mother's womb. Okay, so the blood from the vena cava and pulmonary arteries. Okay, pulmonary arteries enters in the right atria and also left atria. Okay, right and left atria when they are relaxed condition. So for understanding these concepts, we will take the help of the diagrams. Okay, so here you can see this is the heart. Okay, this is the heart. So upper two chambers are what? They are atria. Okay, right atria and also left atria. So here this atria, this one is highlighted. This chamber is highlighted with blue color. Why? Because the blue color represents that deoxygenated blood. Actually, the blood will not be differentiated into blue and red color. Okay, blood is only in the red color. For your understanding purpose, it is differentiated into red and blue color. So this chamber is what? This chamber is left atrium. It is involved in the blood. Okay, oxygenated blood. So from the body parts, here you can see from the body parts. Okay, superior vena cava, inferior vena cava. Okay, so they are going to carry deoxygenated blood and they are going to fill in the which chamber? Right atrium. Right atrium contains what? Deoxygenated blood. Okay, here will be the left atria. Here the left atria is containing what? Left atria. It is going to contain what? Oxygenated blood. So how the deoxygenated blood will be received? From the body parts. From all body parts is released. From the all body parts, deoxygenated blood will be received. Okay, how the oxygenated blood is received? From the lungs. From the lungs, oxygenated blood will be received into the left atria. Okay, so this is the process. When these two are relaxed, when the atria, okay, right, you can see right atria and also plus left atria, when the both are relaxed, what will happen? Blood is filled. Okay, blood is going to fill. Okay, when the right atria and also left atria are relaxed in condition, they are going to fill the blood. Okay, now what will happen when they are filled? What happens again? Now see here, the both under chambers are known as, okay, left ventricle. Okay, and also right ventricle. Okay, left ventricle and right ventricle. So when they are completely filled, what will happen? They will pump to the ventricles, pump to ventricles. So here will be the ventricles, left ventricle and also right ventricle. Here is the left ventricle and also right ventricle. Okay, so here what happens? They are going to receive blood. They are going to receive blood from the which chamber? So left ventricle will be receiving from the left atrium. Okay, right ventricle is receiving from the right atrium. Okay, so they are going to pump blood to what? Here the left ventricle, here will be the left ventricle. Okay, so this is right, not left. So this is right ventricle, this is left ventricle. So right atrium, or yeah, from the right atrium. So when the left ventricle receives blood from the left atrium, okay, what will happen? So this left ventricle, here will be the left ventricle is going to pump blood to the body parts. Okay, remember, left ventricle. Okay, left ventricle is going to pump blood to the body parts. Okay, this is oxygenated. Okay, here the right ventricle. Okay, here will be the right ventricle. Okay, here will be the right ventricle. So it is going to pump blood to the which chamber, to which organ? Pump blood to the lungs. Okay, lungs. Okay, so this is the process. Here will be the systemic aorta and so on. So this is the process you can see. So by this way you can see the pumping of the blood. So here the chamber, these chambers are filled. Previously these chambers are in filled condition. Okay, both chambers are filled condition. Now they pump blood to the respective chambers. Right ventricle to the right atria, from right atria to the right ventricle. Here from the left atria to the left ventricle, and so on. Again, what they will do? They will pump blood to the respective chambers. Okay, so respective organs, like here you can see pulmonary wall. Okay, here will be the, okay, you can see here, this will be the pulmonary. Okay, pulmonary wall. This will be the systemic wall. Pulmonary wall and also systemic wall. Okay, so this will be the things. On ventricle contraction, okay, on ventricle contraction, the blood pressure increases. When the ventricles are contracted, the blood vessel, they are going to increase, and forcing the tricuspid and bicuspid walls to close forcibly. Here you can see, as this is the heart. Okay, here will be the tricuspid and also bicuspid. Okay, here will be the tricuspid wall, here will be the bicuspid wall. Okay, so what happens when the ventricles are filled? They are going to contract. When they contract, what will happen? The pressure increases. When the pressure increases, these tricuspid and bicuspid walls are forcibly shut down. Okay, they will forcibly close. So when the tricuspid and bicuspid walls closes forcibly, then there is a generation of the sound. What is that sound? Okay, lub sound. Okay, it is very, very short. Why? Because these walls are a little bit stronger, and they are going to create sharper sound. That is the lub sound. Okay, lub sound is created. Why it is created? It is going to create, so due to the forcible shutting or closing of the tricuspid and bicuspid walls. Okay, when the ventricles relax, what will happen? The blood pressure decreases. When the ventricles relax, let us consider the ventricles relax. When the ventricles relax, what will happen? So again, the walls will be opened. The tricuspid and bicuspid walls opens, and here there will be another wall. What is that wall? A pulmonary wall, and also here will be the another wall. What is that wall? So here there will be a systemic wall. Here you can see in this diagram. In this diagram, you can see, here you can see the pulmonary wall, and also here will be the systemic wall. The pulmonary wall and systemic wall, they will close forcibly. When they will close forcibly, they will close forcibly when the blood pressure in the ventricles drops. Okay, so they are going to close to prevent backflow of the blood. Okay, to prevent backflow of blood again into the ventricles. Okay, again into the ventricles. So when the pulmonary wall and also systemic wall, when they closes, what will happen? There is a creation of sound. Okay, when they close, there is a creation of sound. The sound is known as dub. Okay, dub sound is dull sound. Okay, why? Because when you compare the walls of pulmonary wall and systemic wall, the walls of the tricuspid and bicuspid wall will be stronger. So there is more stronger, there is less stronger. Okay, sound. Okay, so here will be the atrial contraction. Okay, atrial systole. Atrial systole means contraction of the atria. Atrial systole means contraction of atria. So requires about 0.11 seconds to 0.14 seconds. And ventricular contraction means ventricular systole. It is going to require around 0.27 to 0.35 seconds. Okay, So both auricles and ventricles relaxation requires about 0.4 seconds. So approximately you are going to take around 0.8 seconds. That much amount of time is required for the cardiac cycle. So the tissue will not receive blood continuously. Okay, why it will not receive continuously? Why? Because all the time the ventricles, okay, here you can see the ventricles contracting, relaxing. When they contract, blood will pump. Okay, when they contract, blood pump. This is contraction. Okay, when the ventricles relax, no pump. Okay, no pump. Okay, no contraction, no pump. Again they contract. Okay, blood will pump. Okay, blood will contract means blood will pump. Okay, can you see blood pumping, stopping, pumping, stopping, pumping, stopping, pumping, stopping, and so on. Cycle repeats again and again. So blood flow in the blood vessels is not continuous. Okay, discontinuous means, okay, pumping, stopping, like that. Okay, so in this way the tissue is going to receive the blood in spurts means little by little, like that. Okay, it can be observed in pulse in wrist. If you hold your pulse with the two fingers, okay, that pulse you can see up down, up down, up down. Why up and down? Up and down because when the pulse becomes up, it means when the blood vessel rises, it indicates that the ventricles are contracting. When the pulse becomes down, it means when the blood vessel in the wrist goes to back position, normal position, it indicates that ventricles are relaxing. Okay, so by this way, with the help of your pulse, you can count the heartbeat. Okay, this is one of the reason. Okay, the rate of pulse will be equal to the number of heartbeats. If there is 70 heartbeats, so the pulse rate will be 70 pulse rate. Why? Because it is correlated between, okay, there is a direct connection. So the rate of blood pulse will be equal to the number of heartbeats. Here you can see the animals. So the animals like blue whale, elephants, man, cold bird, etc. Their weight is 1,50,000. Here will be the 3,000 kgs and so on. So their weight of the heart will be this much. Okay, number of heartbeats will be like that. Okay, so this will be the table is given according to the body size of the animal, weight of the heart of the animal, and also number of beats per minute by the heart. Okay, so next is the small topic, that is single and double circulation. So what is single circulation? Single circulation means the flow of blood through the heart only once is not single circulation. We will understand the concept with the help of simple diagram. Let us consider this is the heart. Okay, this is the heart. Okay, so single circulation means from the heart, okay, blood will be pumped to the body parts. Okay, so let us consider these are the gills in case of aquatic animals. Again from the gills to the body parts. Okay, to the body parts. Okay, from the body parts to the heart. Okay, can you see how many loops are there? How many loops? Only one loop. Okay, only one loop. Okay, so one loop is there. So such kind of circulation is not single circulation. Here the deoxygenated blood, here will be the deoxygenated, here will be the oxygenated. Okay, here will be again deoxygenated, and so on. So this such kind of circulation is known as single circulation. It will be seen in the fishes. Okay, it is seen in the fishes. But here you can see the heart. Okay, in the human beings, heart will be there. Okay, so from the heart to the first, what will happen? So heart will pump blood to the lungs. Okay, blood to the lungs. Okay, so here the heart will pump blood to the lungs, and again the lungs are going to pump blood to the heart. Okay, so here will be the one circulation, and again the body will pump oxygenated blood to the body parts. Okay, again from the body parts to the lungs. Okay, so this is one circulation, this is another circulation. It means two circulations are there. Okay, heart to lungs. Okay, the lungs to heart, heart to body parts. Okay, so from the body parts to heart. Okay, so this is circulation. Here you can see heart to lungs, and this is from here to here is the one circulation, and here to here is the another circulation. Two circulations are there. Observe this diagram also. Okay, one will be the pulmonary circulation. Pulmonary means circulation from the heart to lungs is known as pulmonary circulation. Again from the systemic circulation. Systemic means from the heart to body parts, that is the systemic circulation. Okay, So two circulations are there. Example, human beings. Okay. So here the questions are there. How many times did you pointer touch the body parts in the figure 11 and B? That is only one time. That is single circulation. So how many times did your pointer touch the heart in the figure 11 and also 11A and 11B? That is one time in 11A and two times in the B. Okay. So the last question. How many times did your pointer touch the respiratory organs in the figure 11 and also B? That is only one time. Okay. And I hope this lecture is helpful to you, and if you have any doubts or questions, post it in the comment section and we will try to answer your doubts or questions. Okay, so we will discuss the next topic in the next lecture.